He went completely off the rails last night. The man who is allegedly running the country banged out an onslaught of posts and reposts in a furious social media blitzkrieg that started at 7:09 p.m., went on nonstop until almost midnight. From 7 to 12, he posted 160 times. I'll show you what that looks like because it's quite... This is it. That's what he did last night. Do you know how long you have to be on the toilet to post that much?
There are feuds, and then there are Donald Trump feuds. And when it comes to the longest, most brutal, most publicly documented destruction of a con man's reputation, nothing comes close to what Rosie O'Donnell and Jimmy Kimmel have done to Trump over nearly 2 decades. This isn't just about insults thrown back and forth on television. This is about 2 entertainers who called out Trump's fraud, his corruption, and his authoritarian tendencies years before anyone else was paying attention.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs.
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
If you're 55 and you grew up on Long Island, you know that he's a fake, a phony, and a fraud.
Threatened to revoke Rosie's citizenship, gotten Kimmel suspended from his show, and obsessed over them in ways that prove exactly how effective they've been. Let me break down the entire story of how Rosie O'Donnell and Jimmy Kimmel exposed Donald Trump on live television, why Trump has never recovered from it, and why their coordinated resistance matters more than ever in 2025. December 2006, when Rosie started the war. The origin story begins on December 20th, 2006.
You know the number, and Trump's name appears 2,020 times. 2020. Wasn't that also the year they stole the election from him? That's a very...
Donald Trump was still primarily known as a reality TV host and real estate developer. Mrs. A winner Tara Conner had been caught with drug use, underage drinking, and other scandals. Trump, as co-owner of the Mrs. A pageant, held a press conference to announce he was giving Conner a second chance.
ICE arrested a woman a source says has a connection to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Meanwhile, refugees admitted into the U.S. during the Biden administration could be in jeopardy of losing their legal status.
Rosie O'Donnell, then a co-host on The View, watched that press conference and saw right through it. She went on live television and absolutely destroyed Trump's hypocrisy. He annoys me on a multitude of levels. Rosie said on The View, he's the moral authority. Left the first wife, had an affair. Left the second wife, had an affair, had kids both times, but he's the moral compass for 20-year-olds in America. Donald, sit and spin, my friend. Then came the line that Trump has never forgiven her for. Rosie called him a snake oil salesman and pointed out he wasn't a self-made man, but someone who inherited wealth from his father. Trump's response? He called her a woman out of control and threatened to sue her. He told People magazine,
approving Jay Clayton, right, Lindsay, you heard this. The courts actually interceded, and they approved him. But that's an unusual guy. We have other people that are really good, but blue slips are a disaster. So the only people I can get approved are Democrats.
January 2007, Trump appears on Kimmel's show. Just weeks after the View incident, and Kimmel didn't hold back. The interview became a defining moment because Kimmel repeatedly joked about Rosie O'Donnell, knowing it would get under Trump's skin. Trump called Rosie disgusting and discussed his childish feud with her, while Kimmel mocked him to his face. During the show, Kimmel even introduced a comedy sketch featuring a Rosie O'Donnell lookalike, considering defacing Trump's Walk of Fame star with meatballs. Think about that. In 2007, Jimmy Kimmel was already using his platform to side with Rosie and mock Trump's obsession with her. Trump sat there, smiled through it, and pretended to be in on the joke. But the damage was done. Kimmel had aligned himself with Rosie's assessment. Trump was a fraud, a bully, and someone whose ego couldn't handle being called out by a woman. The Twitter Wars 2011 to 2014. Over the next several years, Trump's obsession with Rosie only grew.
Democrat hoax, and the reason he refused to sign an executive order to release the files months ago is because it's a waste of time. And that's the thing about Donald Trump. This is not a man who wastes time on nonsense.
We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this on the grounds of the White House.
This is an executive order relating to the use of paper straws.
Changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to...
He couldn't let it go. He kept attacking her on Twitter, proving exactly what both Rosie and Kimmel had been saying. He was thin-skinned, petty, and incapable of moving past any perceived slight. In December 2011, when Rosie announced her engagement to Michelle Rounds, Trump tweeted, "I feel sorry for Roz's new partner in love, whose parents are devastated at the thought of their daughter being with Rosie, a true loser." Rosie responded by calling him an ass. Can you explain to me, though? I cannot believe that every Republican congressman or woman, every Republican senator, is stupid. Well, they're not stupid, but they're definitely afraid of him. People in America are afraid of him. They're afraid to stand up to him against him because, and when I did on The View in 2006, I remember Joy Behar saying, "You're not going to say." By 2014, when Rosie returned to The View, Trump was back to attacking her, calling her show a total disaster and predicting it would fail. August 2015, only Rosie O'Donnell. Fast forward to August 6, 2015, the first Republican presidential primary debate. Donald Trump was center stage and Fox News moderator Megyn Kelly was about to ask him the toughest question of the night. Smithereens and says it was ratings that got me fired. Has anyone ever been fired for bad ratings on a Wednesday? This was his big closer. Let Jimmy Kimmel rot in his bad ratings. And he does no bad ratings. He has some of the worst ratings any president has ever had. So on behalf of all of us, welcome to the crappy ratings club, Mr. President. Next, he'll try to sue us. And I want to say good luck with that because we thought about it. We packed the courts and we have a surprise ace up our sleeve, Mr. Judge Steve Harvey. That's right. You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals, Kelly began. Before she could finish, Trump interrupted. Only Rosie O'Donnell. The audience erupted in laughter and applause. Trump smiled smugly and wagged his finger in the air. He thought he'd delivered a perfect punchline, but Kelly wasn't having it. For the record, it was well beyond Rosie O'Donnell, she said, pointing out his long history of misogynistic comments. Well, he is a cruel, criminal, and mentally unstable man. And Duty to Warn was a book that came out when he was first in office. Psychiatrists across the country who don't ever really diagnose people that they don't serve personally came together and made a book, Duty to Warn, to tell the world what a narcissistic, mentally ill person, he a little party, never killed nobody. Maybe some synchronized swimming. They could flaunt their money while Donald Trump makes the American people. Threatened to revoke Rosie's citizenship, gotten Kimmel suspended from his show, and obsessed over them in ways that prove exactly how effective they've been. Let me break down the entire story of how Rosie O'Donnell and Jimmy Kimmel exposed Donald Trump on live television, why Trump has never recovered from it, and why their coordinated resistance matters more than ever in 2025. December 2006, when Rosie started the war. The origin story begins on December 20th, 2006,